Hello. In this video we're going to talk about summarizing. Summarizing is a very important technique in academic writing. It's a technique that will allow you to use lots of information from other people's writing in your own writing in a respectable, legitimate way that won't get you into trouble for plagiarizing. So the article we're going to summarize is from your America Now textbook. It's on page 49, and it is Easily Pronounced Names May Make People More Likable by Dave Mosher in Wired Science from February 24th, 2012. This copy is not in your book. I went to the Wired website for this and copied it and pasted it in here so we can highlight it and inspect it. But I advise you to read it in your textbook before you watch this video. So in this video we're going to talk about two kinds of summary. One is descriptive or indicative summary. That's a kind of summary it's usually shorter, and it tells in general terms what a source is about, but doesn't give a lot of details or findings or opinions from that source. We're going to color this kind yellow when we find it. Informative, as you may guess from the word information, gives more information, more details, more opinions, more facts from the source that you summarize. And we're going to highlight this in green. We will also talk about these two techniques that you will need to use in your summary in order to properly credit your source, and always let the reader know whether you're summarizing or not. Alright, so this article begins, though it might seem impossible and certainly inadvisable to judge a person by their name, a new study suggests our brains try anyway. So the main thought is our brains try anyway, try to judge a person by their name. So this is the summary of the new study. It's in one sentence, in just 5 words, it summarizes the whole article. So that is some informative summary. It's short, but it's informative, so we're going to highlight that green. But notice, it doesn't just start off by saying our brains try to judge a person by their name. Dave Mosher starts with, a new study suggests. So this tells us right away that this is a summary here. This is not Dave Mosher's opinions or conclusions. They're from a study he read. So this is called introducing the source. This is the first time he mentions the source. He hasn't given the full information yet, but he has begun. So I'm going to highlight that blue, and that's what he's doing here. The next sentence says the more pronounceable a person's name is, the more likely people are to favor them. So that's stating in more detail this thought here. So that's the more informative summary. So we'll highlight that green too. How do we know that it's still part of the summary instead of Dave Mosher's opinion? Well, basically because it restates this same sentence that we know is from the summary, from the original article. Alright, now, here's where we get some different kind of writing. Here we have a direct quotation from Adam Alter, one of the authors of the study. And notice that in the online text he gave a hyperlink to Adam Alter's New York University homepage. He also gives a hyperlink to the actual academic study. So this is one good way of giving credit to something that you summarize online. It's a little bit informal, but it works well for online sources, including blogs and popular magazines, and even some academic magazines or journals. We also know that this is not from the original article. It's from probably a personal interview with this guy, because we have the word said instead of wrote, for example. Now the next paragraph, are we back into the summary again? No, we're not. Mosher gives some background information, and because he doesn't say it's from the summary or from the article and doesn't really give any clues that it is, we can assume that for him this is just common knowledge. And the same thing here, or knowledge that he gained from many, many sources maybe. Continuing the next paragraph, we're still not summarizing this recent article. He's talking about some previous articles, again, that give background information. He cites them rather informally. For example, studies have shown this one result. And notice he's hyperlinked an important phrase in here. That link leads you to the academic paper. He's not saying any more about it because that's not the main thought of this article, but he is linking you to his source. Here's another result. And he's, again, hyperlinked that paper to one of the important phrases here. But he's not giving us the full author's names or anything in this paper because that's not what this paper is about. And then he does this with a third finding here. Okay. Again, hyperlinking is a good way to give credit to your source in online writing, but usually in writing for classes and things, you'll need to give more explicit information. All right, now look at this. In 2005, Alter and his colleagues explored. This is introducing a source again. So we're going to color this blue. It's not the recent article, it's an 8-year-old article, but Dave Mosher is introducing the source. Okay. Now, what did they explore? Well, they explored how pronounceability of company names affects their performance in the stock market. This does not say how it affects their performance, it just says that's what the paper is about. So that's some indicative summary. It just gives a general idea. So we'll highlight that in yellow. But notice the very next sentence gives the details. It gives the information about how pronounceability affects company name of company names affects their performance. So this is an informative summary of the same basic idea. Now here we have another quotation from Alan Alter. And then this but shows that we're moving to another thought. How much does pronunciation guide our perceptions of people? Not companies, people now. Okay. To find out, Alter and colleagues Simon Lamb and Peter Koval of the University of Melbourne carried out 5 studies. Now we're to the main study here. Now is when he gives the Alter name and names the other authors by name and gives their university affiliation. So he's identifying the source here. Carried out 5 studies. That's an indicative summary. But once again, this indicative summary is followed by informative summary. In this whole paragraph, he gives lots of details about how they carried out the study. Actually, the studies. Notice they say in the first. So in the first what? In the first study. And then in the second study. And in the third study. So he's reminding us that we are still in the summary here. Especially in a long paragraph, you might need this. And this is the second of our summary techniques here. Summary reminder phrases. In a longer summary, every now and then, you need to remind your reader that this is still somebody else's work that you're reporting on. Okay, continuing. Altogether, the researchers found. The researchers found. We're still summarizing. That's a reminder. And then what did they find? A name's pronounceability, blah, 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 blah. So there's some informative summary. The next sentence is more informative summary. They don't give a reminder phrase here, but we know it's part of the summary because it comes right after this. It's just still giving more of the results with these numbers. And then we have another quotation from the personal interview with Alter. But now look, we're back in the summaries again. In the latter studies. In other words, in studies number 4 and number 5 out of these original, these 5 studies up here. And what do? They wanted to get a better sense of name pronunciation effects outside the lab. That's what the paper is about, but it doesn't give the details. So that's some indicative summary. But one more time, right after the indicative, they give the informative summary, explaining in more detail. Okay, and in here they have, but we see a couple more reminder phrases. They collected. That reminds us this is not Dave Mosher doing this. This is the researchers doing it. When the researchers compared, another reminder phrase. They found, yet another summary reminder phrase. Okay. Now here we have some more of the informative summary with the numbers, so we'll color that green. But even here, buried in the middle of the sentence, we have in this study another reminder that this is somebody else's work that Dave Mosher is reporting on. Moving to the end, we have one more quotation from the guy, and also actually a paraphrase from him. A nice little paraphrase about if and when he has children, he's going to give them ordinary names, not weird names that are hard to pronounce. So, paraphrasing, well, that's for another video. For now, let's look at the overview here. So we can see that there's a lot of yellow and green here, a lot of summary going on, and furthermore, sprinkled all through the summary, we have in gray the reminder phrases to show us we're still summarizing, and before the main summaries we have in blue an introduction of the source. So those two techniques, along with, of course, using your own words, are the things you need to do to summarize and to safely use other people's work. So, thank you for watching, and I will see you in class.